My wife went on a work trip, then I saw her on an influencer's live stream. I commented, "Looks fun." Then I donated $200, saying, "Tell Olivia, Charles said hi." The streamer read it aloud and she froze on camera. A 34 male or rather was, a happily married man, or so I thought. My wife Olivia, 32, and I've been married for 5 years. It was good, comfortable. We had our routines, a shared life that felt like a well-worn sweater. She's an executive assistant at a big tech firm. A demanding job, she always said, that required a lot of networking. I never questioned it. Last week, she told me she had to go on a last-minute work trip, a leadership off-site at a resort a few states away. "It's a huge opportunity, Charles," she'd said, packing a suitcase full of clothes that looked more beach club than boardroom. "I have to go." I didn't argue. I made her coffee while she booked her flight, kissed her goodbye at the door, and settled in for a quiet week with our golden retriever Jasper. Fast forward to last night. I'm scrolling through my phone, half watching some sports recap, when a notification pops up. An influencer Olivia had mentioned before, one of those guys with perfect teeth who documents his aspirational lifestyle, is live. His name is Leo, and his whole brand is being obnoxiously rich and carefree. On a whim, I click on it. The video is what you'd expect, a high-energy pan of a ridiculously lavish hotel suite, music thumping, people laughing. The camera swings past a balcony with a fire pit overlooking the ocean. And standing there, silhouetted against the flames, is Olivia. My Olivia. She wasn't in a blazer, she was in a silk slip dress I'd never seen before. She was laughing, head thrown back, while Leo, the influencer, wrapped an arm around her waist and kissed her shoulder. She leaned into it, completely at ease. My first reaction wasn't rage, it was clarity. The kind of sharp, cold focus that makes the world go silent. All the little oddities of the past few months clicked into place. The late nights at the office, the sudden obsession with a new workout class, the way she'd started hiding her phone screen. It wasn't a sudden storm, it was a slow leak I'd been politely ignoring. They were all gathered around Leo's phone, propped up on the bar. He was reading comments. My mind went quiet. I didn't feel hysterical. I felt like a scientist observing a fascinating, if disgusting, new species of bacteria. I tapped on the comment box. My fingers were steady. "Looks fun." A few seconds passed, then I hit the support the streamer button. I selected a $200 donation, an amount just big enough to guarantee he'd read the message. My message: "Tell Olivia, Charles said hi." Leo saw the notification. His eyes widened. "Whoa! Big spender alert. Thanks to Charles. $200, man, thank you. And he has a message." He cleared his throat dramatically. The camera was on him, but Olivia was visible in the background, smiling as she stirred her drink. "Message says," Leo boomed, "Tell Olivia, Charles said hi." I watched. Her smile didn't just drop, it shattered. Her face went slack, the color draining from it. Her eyes darted around before landing squarely on the phone's camera. It felt like she was looking right at me. She froze. Leo, oblivious, chuckled. "Uh-oh, looks like someone's in trouble. Olivia, you know a Charles?" She didn't answer. Her friends stared. The live stream comments began to explode. My phone started ringing almost immediately. Her name on the screen. I let it go to voicemail, then a text. "Charles, call me. It's not what it looks like." "Oh, I think it is." "I think it's exactly what it looks like." I turned off my phone. I already knew my first call in the morning would be to my lawyer. My second would be to a locksmith. As for money, I was fortunate. My inheritance, the bulk of my assets, has always been in a separate trust account my father set up. Untouchable. Our joint account was for bills and groceries. The financial untangling would be messy, but not catastrophic for me. The fog of my marriage had lifted. Now, the work began. Update 1: It's been a week. A very, very long week. No melodrama here, just cause and effect, complicated by the tedious reality of the civil justice system. Olivia came home 2 days after the livestream incident. The locks were, as planned, changed. The scratching of her key was satisfying, but I knew it was only a temporary barrier. Her furious call came seconds later. "Charles, what the hell? I'm locked out." "I know," I said calmly. "We need to talk through a lawyer. I'm not comfortable with you being in the house right now." "You can't do this. I live here. This is insane." Then, as expected, she did exactly what a smart, cornered person would do. She called the police to report an illegal lockout. 40 minutes later, 2 officers were on my doorstep. Olivia was on the lawn, performing the role of the distraught, wronged wife. Leo was there, a few feet behind her, playing the part of the concerned, supportive friend. It was quite the production. I invited the officers inside. I was calm. I had a bottle of water in my hand. "She's my wife," I said simply. "I discovered a significant infidelity 2 days ago. I've retained counsel and have already filed for a legal separation. I changed the locks for my own peace of mind." The older officer sighed. It was clear he'd seen this drama 1,000 times. "Sir, I understand. But this is her legal residence. Until a judge says otherwise, you can't prevent her from entering the property." This was the first real test. I didn't argue. I didn't raise my voice. I just nodded. "I understand, officer. My lawyer advised me this might happen. In that case, I'd request your presence while she retrieves her essential belongings. I've already packed most of them. They're on the porch." Olivia, overhearing this, balked. "My belongings? I'm not leaving." The officer turned to her. "Ma'am, he's filed for separation. He's agreeing to let you in. This is a civil matter now. We're just here to keep the peace. I suggest you take what you need for the time being." Her plan to have me reprimanded by the police had failed. She was forced to pack a bag under the watchful eye of the law, her anger simmering. My victory wasn't in locking her out. It was in being the more reasonable, prepared party in the eyes of the authorities. I had already filed the paperwork. I had started the clock on the slow, unstoppable machine of the legal system. Now, for the other moves. The finances. I didn't touch the joint account. Instead, I rerouted my paycheck to my personal account and stopped all future transfers into it. The existing balance can be divided by the lawyers. This is the clean way. The car, the convertible, is in my name, premarital property. I sent her a formal, written request for its return via email, CCing my lawyer. When she ignored it, my lawyer sent a certified letter. This creates a paper trail. It's not as dramatic as reporting it stolen, but it's the foundation for a future court motion for its return. A motion that, given the paper trail, a judge will easily grant. The phone plan. This, I admit, was petty. I logged into our family plan. I didn't cut her off. I just turned off her international roaming and removed the top-tier data package. It was a small, childish act of reasserting control that gave me a flicker of satisfaction. She can use Wi-Fi or buy her own plan. It's not a strategic masterstroke, it was just for me. Their countermove, beyond the police call, was to immediately start building their social media narrative. Leo and Olivia are posting about toxic partners, emotional immaturity, and the courage to leave a controlling relationship. They think the court of public opinion is where this will be won. They're wrong. It will be won in a quiet room, with a judge who cares more about financial disclosures and legal filings than Instagram stories. Update 2. It's been 2 months, a slog of legal back and forth. The social situation has gotten messy, just as you'd expect. First, the friends. It wasn't the clean break I imagined. Our mutuals fractured. A couple of them bought her story completely, sending me messages about how I was being cruel and controlling. A few others are awkwardly trying to stay neutral. But my real friends, the 3 people I've known for over a decade, saw the evidence and heard the quiet pain in my voice. They're my support system. The social fallout wasn't a total victory, but it revealed who was truly in my corner, which is its own kind of clarity. Now, the dog. Olivia started demanding visitation with Jasper. My lawyer's advice was simple. The dog is property in the eyes of the law. You have the adoption papers and the vet bills. Do not engage. So when she texted, I sent one simple reply. All communication needs to go through my lawyer. She posted a teary-eyed selfie about it, of course. It got her some sympathy from strangers online, but it did nothing to change the facts. And now, the real move. The credit card. I knew a direct fraud claim to the bank was a dead end, so I didn't try. I paid the bill for her trip to protect my credit. But the statement, with its itemized charges for a luxury resort, room service, and a flight to a vacation spot on dates she was supposedly working, that statement became my primary weapon. Her company is a massive tech firm. I know for a fact they have a strict corporate compliance and ethics department. So I drafted an email. It was a work of art in its bland corporate anonymity. I created a new, untraceable email address. The email was addressed to the head of HR and the anonymous ethics and compliance tip line listed on their corporate site. Subject: potential compliance concern regarding executive assistant. To whom it may concern, I am writing out of an abundance of caution. It has come to my attention that a senior executive assistant, Olivia her last name, may be misrepresenting personal travel as work-related activity. This could potentially expose the company to liability if she attempts to file these as expenses or if her actions are seen to represent the company. Attached is a credit card statement showing travel to resort name from date to date. My understanding is that there was no company-sponsored event at this location on these dates. I trust you will handle this with the appropriate discretion. A concerned observer. I attached the redacted statement showing only her name, the dates, and the merchant names. I didn't rant or accuse. I framed my personal grievance as a potential corporate liability. I gave them the information and trusted their self-interest to do the rest. An HR department's primary loyalty is to the company, not its employees. I knew they couldn't ignore a documented risk, however small. This is the long game. It's not about immediate satisfaction. It's about planting a seed in a place they can't control and letting it grow. They're busy fighting a war on social media. I'm quietly supplying ammunition to their employer. Final update. 8 months later, it's over. There was no single explosive event. It was a slow, inevitable collapse, like a decaying orbit. The job, the anonymous tip, worked better than I could have imagined. As my lawyer predicted, corporate HR moves slowly but mercilessly. They launched a quiet internal audit into Olivia's expense reports and work-from-home records. They found what I suspected they would. A pattern. This wasn't her first time taking a work-from-home day from a hotel lobby or scheduling a meeting that was really a spa appointment. The leadership off-site was just the most blatant lie in a long series of them. About 3 months ago, she was terminated for what the paperwork called a significant breach of the company's code of conduct and fraudulent expense reporting. Her career at that level is likely over. The legal matters, the divorce proceedings were a grind, but with her unemployed and her infidelity documented, the live stream screenshot was Exhibit A, her legal position was weak. The car. The judge granted my motion for the immediate return of my premarital property. She had to arrange to have it delivered to my mechanic. The house. I was granted exclusive use of the residence. She had to be out by a specific date. The money. In the final settlement, I kept my inheritance, my house, and the car. We split the minimal funds in the joint account and the shared debt. Her request for alimony was denied due to the circumstances of her termination and the short duration of the marriage. The judgment from my small claims case for the trip expenses was rolled into the final decree. I won, not with a knockout punch, but with a suffocating, undeniable weight of evidence. The influencer. Leo's brand of aspirational living couldn't survive the collision with reality. The drama became public enough that his comment sections turned toxic. When Olivia lost her job, she could no longer bankroll their lifestyle. The fun, carefree vibe soured when real-world problems like unemployment and legal fees entered the picture. They broke up about 2 months ago. His posts are now full of vapid nonsense about new chapters and cutting out negative energy. He is, and always was, a parasite looking for a host. I never got an apology. Her final communication was a bitter voicemail after the divorce was finalized, blaming me for systematically destroying her life. I listened to it, and then I deleted it. She thinks I destroyed her life, but I didn't build her career on a foundation of lies. I didn't cheat on a work trip. I didn't posture on social media instead of taking responsibility. She built her own prison. I just methodically, piece by piece, handed her the bricks. Tonight, the house is quiet. Jasper is asleep on the rug. The legal bills are paid. The quiet isn't lonely anymore. It's the sound of order restored. It's the sound of peace. And that, I've learned, is the only victory that matters.